Should the BFG get a BFN, Big Freakin Nerf in Doom Eternal, the DLC in Horde mode, for being OP and making the game too easy? What about the classic BFG? Is it better than Eternals? Today, we're going to be looking at 3 arguments each, for and against the Nerf, and then I'll give you my final verdict. Let's see if you can guess my answer near the end of the video. Alright, so for a Nerf, one argument could be that it is too powerful. It's a delete button. That the point of the game is about killing enemies, and yeah, this does do it, that is true, but it's a bit too far. Rather than getting into a battle and utilizing the Doom Dance, you just often delete them all. The classic one is a bit different in that regard, which I'll get to here in just a second. Now, you don't always kill everything with a shot across the room, like the Tyrants and the Barons, and they are a little bit tankier, but for the most part, if you're in danger, that will really get you out of that. We'll hit on that one in a second too. The second argument is no skill, that it takes away the challenge of the game by just firing an energy blast across the screen and killing everything. And the codex says the longer the BFG is in the air, the stronger it becomes. The classic BFG functioned differently. With a backpack to double your ammo capacity, you could fire 15 shots, that's 600 plasma cells divided by 40 per shot, and it did use plasma ammo, kind of like how it takes 30 to use now. To compare the no skill argument, we gotta look at how the classic BFG worked as an example. Like in Eternal, the key was that the ball wasn't the biggest source of damage. It was the tracers that emitted from the blast. Now that's a whole understanding beyond the scope of this video on how those work. Decino's probably made a video on it, but you can get creative with it. Stand by a wall and shoot it and strafe, and the tracers hit the enemies. Or just get up close and take down a cyber demon in 2 hits, or a spider mastermind in 1, since all the tracers would emit from the blast. Now, fast forward 25 years, and things work a little differently, which makes sense as the dynamic of the game is different. So, after looking at how it's changed from the classic, one might argue that it's been downgraded, not in power, but usage, despite it still being spammed in slaughter maps. Well, there's actually a mod by Nightmare that makes BFG use cell ammo just for fun, and yeah, you definitely need to rebalance it. The whole idea is that, we could just shoot the BFG across the arena and clear everything out with an erase button right there, whereas in the classic, you at least had to consider and factor in other things if you wanted advanced usage. Anybody in Classic could just shoot and fire and do a lot of damage with the ball, but knowing the tracers and ammo management and all of that is a whole other level. The next argument is a panic button, that it takes the fun out of arena fights. Hugo said that the best power fantasy is earned, and I'd like to apply that to this argument. When you know that you have a way out of most situations, you can treat it like a get-out-of-jail-free card, knowing that it's in your back pocket just in case you need it. And that makes some people feel that the suspense and the tension isn't there, especially on Ultra Nightmare, since if you get into trouble, you can just basically delete the room. But again, it's not always free, and it does completely wreck the high-level enemies, like the Marauder, if you time it right. For the classic, it's less of a panic button than modern. It's actually more of like a regular usage gun at this point, but up close is where it has the bulk of its power, and it will shred bosses in a minute. But then again, they shred you too. It ends up being a risk-reward type of situation. Now let's look at the arguments against a Nerf. It's optional. You don't have to use it. It's usually rare enough that it can't be spammed, like Doom 2016 and the ammo boost, so you do have to make your choices wisely. Some arenas were designed for it, yet they're all still beatable without it. However, when you do use it, there's no denying its power, regardless of which side you're on. You could technically say that any gun is optional, but this one was crafted around that idea. No other gun is so powerful to be balanced with so few shots, and the developers know that, I'm sure after beating Doom 2016 especially, that some players may not want to use it. You can beat any battle in the game without it, as it should be. It'll just be a lot harder, but that's the point. In fact, Horde mode encourages you not to use it for a big 50,000 point bonus, and if you are competing for the high scores, that 50,000 is enough to knock you right down to where you could be if you hadn't used it. And I think that's the intention behind it, to reward the players who are able to get through the arenas without using it, but to give it to those who would still like it and have fun with it and want to use it for their fights. The next argument, training wheels. It helps those that haven't mastered the Doom dance yet, and that's from Hugo's words himself in regards to the placement in the DLC. If you're someone who's still getting used to the game and wants that help, well, it's there for you. This is a little different than saying that it's optional, because it's the purpose behind it that varies. It's a tool that players can use to help them through a battle, and they can strategically use it to their benefit. Understanding when to use it does matter, especially if it's a blind situation and it's your first time in a fight. Do you use it now to save you and your life, or do you keep it for later when things will likely be harder as the arena and the level progresses? Will you get more BFG ammo later? The choice is yours to make, and making that choice may have to happen in an instant. That's part of the fun though, right? This is similar to something that Hugo said about the Spirit. Figure out if you want to take it down now or later, and weigh the risk of the arena and the level's current and upcoming difficulty, even if you don't know what's coming. One could even argue that it's an element of strategy, a game of balance, as you plan when to use it, and how to adapt if you shoot one earlier than planned. Honestly, sometimes it's fun just going in with all of your equipment and understanding like, hey, the BFG is just another piece of this combat puzzle where I have to route the ammo in as I'm going to use it, where if you don't use it, you don't even have to worry about that at all, unless you use the Unmaker or something. And of course, it's super fun. Sometimes just clearing out a whole room of enemies and watching them all explode is fun. And you can even try to set personal records, because when you fire the BFG, the number in the middle of the screen shows how many demons you've killed, which 32 is the max. Try to beat your own high score. Landing a direct hit like a rocket is also a skill shot in some cases, like on the Icon or a Marauder, and even though the Icon has the same pattern that you can get with them every single time at first. So, what are my thoughts on the BFG? Should it be nerfed, and why? You know, I think it's fine as it is, but I'd be curious to see how the classic BFG would function in modern Doom. Sure, why not? And I mean, there are other power weapons that you can use if this one's too much for you, like the Unmaker. The key is, it's optional. You don't have to use it, but you can if you want to. But the BFG does fill its own role, as does the Unmaker, and it's implemented in a way that you, like I said, don't have to use it. Now, I understand in a game wanting to use all of your weapons, as I talked about a moment ago. I get that, I really do. But I don't think it's a super pressing issue, though it would be game-changing if something were adjusted. I wonder how much extra balance, if any, would need to be done. Maybe not much. But even though I'd like to see it myself, I think it's working as intended. Maybe somebody could mod some changes. Consider becoming a channel member if you want to support the channel and get cool perks and behind the scenes info and stuff. My name's Allstin, check out the next video here, and thanks for watching.